Christian, welcome to eetv.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Bob. It's a great pleasure.
Well, I actually grabbed you out of thin air. And we actually both serve the same group. Okay, they clear the air. Okay, but I understand you play a far different role. You're the ex-chairman, the last chairman of Clear the Air, right?
Yes, the former one.
The former one.
And for a year and a half I've been the chairman of Green Lantau Association, which, as you know, was the first green society taking care of Lantau. Green Lantau Association was founded in 1989.
Well, can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Are you a resident in Lantau Island?
I've been a resident for the last 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Permanent, a full-time resident.
Yeah.
Before that, I have been in Hong Kong for many years,
Yeah.
but I was only visiting Lantau during the weekends, during holidays.
I see. Well, before we get into that, I would like you to introduce yourself to the audience as to your background. Now, first of all, you don't look like me, okay?
Nobody
no matter
like
how. So where are you from?
I'm from France, and I settled down in Hong Kong in 1989. I have worked in a...
Well, 1989, you were talking about old Hong Kong.
Yes, there was Kai Tak, there was the Look Walk Hotel in Wan Chai, where I slept once. Which I learned afterwards that the Look Walk Hotel was a historic hotel. A lot of figures from mainland China, famous people, good and not so good, have stayed at the Look Walk Hotel.
Yeah. Hey, why you moved to? Why you choose to move to Lantau anyway? This is a big move. You're talking about from city.
Yeah.
The way I understand it, you move into a far-fetched area.
I had been staying in Sai Pun for quite a few years, and the price going up, the air pollution getting not improved, I needed a change.
I see.
And I think the best way to make a big change in your life is to move house. And I got an opportunity to settle down in one of the villages of Mui Wo, and since then... Mui Wo.
Yeah.
And since then it's fantastic.
Actually, Chris, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know, Chris actually speaks quite a few Cantonese, including some bad words, I think. My family, okay, one of my family members, her, my better half, all right, her ancestors were buried in Mui Wo. So we had, in a sense that I feel that some kind of kinship to Lantau, and I do care about the place.
Yes.
Okay. And many times I actually closed my eyes. I was thinking, what will happen to Lantau? But you are the best guy because you have been there.
I'm one of them. I mean, let's face it. A lot of people could talk about Lantau. However, I'm happy today to tell you my perspective on Lantau.
Okay. Could you elaborate on that?
Yes. Let's start. Let's jump right into the topic.
Well, before we do that, one of the most important things, I went to the street and did a survey and asked people, do you know what is going on in Lantau? You know, my conclusion is most people in Hong Kong are not aware of what is going on in Hong Kong, and you care about that.
We are many, and more to care about.
Well, how do you communicate to the general audience? Okay, that I care about Hong Kong because that's my ancestors' burial ground.
Of course.
Okay, we want to salvage one, but that's selfish. Okay, I'm thinking about bigger picture. What will happen to Lantau?
Nobody knows at that point what will happen to Lantau. What we know is that more and more young people go visit Lantau, and over the last 3 years I have seen probably an increase of 100% every year. My house is located at a junction of roads leading to Sunset Peak, to the waterfalls and to other places, and I see over the weekend, and even sometimes because I have some days off during the week. I see more and more people coming by groups.
More and more people coming by groups. What kind of
Yes.
people are you talking about?
Students doing field survey, and also hikers, runners, small groups of friends taking pictures absolutely everywhere. I'm going to tell you something. It's easy to remember. On the Saturday, 31st of July, 2015, I was with two friends and we decided to go on Sunset Peak at midnight in order to see the sunrise.
Right.
There was over 100 people on Sunset Peak at midnight for the same reason. And another day, back in November, I was crossing the Tongchong Road very late, at probably 11:30 p.m. I was seeing same cohorts of young people coming down from Sunset Peak, going to Lantau Peak and vice versa. So Lantau has become extremely popular.
You know, it is actually interesting when you mention young people going to Lantau. Obviously, there is a more ecological move. Okay, they favor more natural settings. But for tourists who come to precious Hong Kong, okay, they should keep in mind, Hong Kong is not just a stupid piece of concrete, right?
Definitely
We got a very vibrant countryside. Actually, surprisingly, we even have some primitive jungles. You can go up in the mountains and go for hours at a time. You're still in the trees.
I read in 2007 or 8, I think, I read a biodiversity survey saying that there was more species of trees in Hong Kong than in the whole UK. More species of trees. And we could go on like that. There's a fabulous animal kingdom there. Only in Lantau, and of course you find the same in the new territories. But Hong Kong, and especially Lantau, has managed until today to preserve a unique piece of land with a unique biodiversity which is impossible to find anywhere else in the Pearl River Delta.
Well, in that case, would you be able to safely conclude, say, Lantau Islands, this big piece of land, right? Lantau, can we say Lantau is the backyard of Hong Kong?
We could say that. I would go even further and saying that it's the pearl of the Pearl River Delta. Because it's unique. This is the last one. And, there would be much more.
What do you mean by unique?
In the whole Pearl River Delta, the mainland government, the Guangdong government has tried to use all the land they can.
Right.
It's industrial or it's agricultural. It's very hard to find some jungle, real jungle, like you find in Hong Kong, in the new territory.
People got to pay attention to what you just said. Most people come to Hong Kong for this glorious Lan Kwai Fong, right? Go to have a drink, all the bars, all the shows, and actually you should seriously consider, if you're a tourist, even for a tourist, and we're all tourists of this world actually, okay? For people who live in Hong Kong, think about it, what you can do in Lantau during weekends. I hiked there by myself with the stupid heavy camera. At the end of the day, when I walk onto a bus, okay, I almost fell apart. It was not an easy trip. Okay, so what do you recommend people to do other than doing the sunset overnight? Not everybody can do that.
Of course not.
So what can you do there?
There are tons of hikes. A lot of hikes that can be done along the coast, for instance. You could have a very long hike along the coastline, starting from Mui Wo to Tai O, going via the gorgeous Fan Lao Bay, and then moving on to.
But I want to see animals. I want to see buffaloes. I want to see the cows.
The buffaloes are easy to see from Mui Wo to Puyo Wo, And
Could you say those words in Cantonese to the audience a little bit more specifically? Mui wo, mui wo.
Mui wo, sorry.
2 words.
I'm going to repeat this sentence.
Yeah.
You can see those buffaloes everywhere from Mui wo to Pui wo, and there's far more to see. It just depends in which part of Lantau you want to focus.
I talked to a elderly person this morning, specifically for this question. It turns out, he says, there are tricks. You can go to Mui wo to pick up the animals and take them for a walk.
Right.
Okay? They will follow you to the pasture where the green grass.
This is something to do.
Okay? Have you done that before?
No, I must say no. I've not done it. I've done other things.
Have you seen people done that?
I don't think so.
Now this is very interesting. Actually, this elderly guy told me he did it all the time in the past.
Right.
Okay. Actually, took all the cows, the buffalo, to point A to point B, and the police have to come to escort them because there were too many animals on the road.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And still there's still plenty of them, right?
This is an activity, you know, all those animal-friendly things that you can do have been underused, I would say. The question is not to transform those animals into circus animals at all. They should be kept in peace, but at the same time there is a way to interact with them and take them in picture.
Are they wild animals?
I'm sorry?
They're not domesticated. These are wild, right?
The cows and buffaloes are usually friendly. Now you should not forget that you are in open space, but the best way is to keep them quiet and take pictures and not be too adventurous, of course.
Okay. And with all this wilderness, with all these treasure of Hong Kong,
Sure.
okay, in other words, with this beauty of the backyard as behind our mind, okay, and I understand recently there was some protest, okay, for the building department or the planning department to do to have some activities built there. There were a lot of land there, right?
Where exactly?
Lantau.
Yes, there are a lot of areas which are actually targeted for construction, for building, so it depends which area.
Well, what's need to be done by the government, needed to be done by the government is going to be done. Okay, that's granted. The thing is this still a stage of planning, and the government should kindly think about the environment and the buffaloes and the, you know?
I think to answer this question, we have to look in, we have to take some perspective. We have to come back to 2005, where under the government of Donald Tsang, the Chief Secretary Henry Tang Yin wanted already to implement what they called the Lantau Development Plan, which was later called Concrete Lantau Development Plan. What this plan today in 2016 is about is just a slight modification. The vision and the principle are mostly the same.
I see.
Which are putting installations where things that can be enjoyed free of charge, now you would have to pay. What I mean is this: today you can have silence, you can have beauty.
Well, you can watch sunset for free.
You can watch sunset for free. You can have a stretch of beach of 2.2 kilometers. For instance, you can camp, you can do barbecue, you can do absolutely everything you want, provided you respect the surrounding.
Right.
There is no limit to what you can do.
No pay. You don't need to pay. You take out
You
some chicken
don't need
wings
to
and you
pay.
go barbecue.
You take your camera, you camp in August under the sky, and you have something that stays with you for the rest of your life. As Lantau will be developed, those things will be more and more difficult to achieve, and what it means is that you will have to pay to enjoy the setting that today is free. This is my perspective. This is what I see which is, unfortunately, it goes with the trend of everything that goes on in the world today.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask you, can you give me, government like to use the word balance, okay? And then we're not here to criticize the government, but from a ecological and economical points of view, which you are the expert, okay? Can you point to us a general map? I'm really asking a lot, I know. A general map, what you can visualize that's reasonable, okay, for the future, for the near future of Lantau. We know we don't know, but I know one thing. There are going to be constructions. There are going to be a heavy construction, okay? And it's not going to be stopped because this is beyond us, right? There's nothing you can do about it. But in the meantime, the government should pay attention, okay?
I think it's very difficult to talk about balance. It reminds me of, the expression, can a woman be half pregnant? No, a woman is pregnant or is not.
Good thinking, right.
Can you develop and be balanced? Either you develop or you protect.
Right.
How can you develop and not protect? This is exactly the quandary where the government has positioned itself, where it's actually very contradictory and everybody sees it. We are going to develop in a balanced way. No, if you develop, you upset the ecological system everywhere. You cannot develop and protect.
Yeah, but this is the ecological point of view. I'm asking you the economical point of view. Is it why Hong Kong have to go through this development?
Exactly. This is the question you have to ask yourself. Now, let's take some very easy examples. At the beginning it was said that public housing were needed and therefore we need to build public housing.
Right.
And then the name of Lantau was coming just after. Now, do we really, there are two remarks we can do about that. Are we really going to build public housing in Lantau, far away from everything? Number one. Number two, there are a lot of spaces which are vacant. You have what we call brown zones, are former industrial buildings which have remained mostly empty.
Actually, they still remain empty right
They
now.
still
right?
remain empty.
But
Hong Kong is not new in coming to this type of evolution, but in the West, large cities, metropolitan area, have found a way to deal with that. They have transformed, they have rezoned, they have transformed the floor plan, they have built lofts, right? It was the big development of the lofts back in the 80s because the US and London, for instance, had already suffered.
well, London was built a city on top of the city.
Deindustrialization,
Right.
right? But nothing is done about that. You have an expanding brown zone and the government wants to build more public housing. This is the second point. Now, yesterday I had a discussion with someone living in Lantau and we talked about residential development called the White Sands, which is at the bottom of Tong Chong Road, just after Puyo. And we talk about prices. The studio was sold for $40 million. And an average...
Oh, studio?
Studio. $40 million. And an average
1400萬，14 million.
And an average flat for $70 million. Hong Kong dollars. 70 million Hong Kong
That's a
dollars.
lot of money.
So, the question is, for whom are we building Lantau here? Lantau has some green groups, other green groups, local green groups mentioned. Lantau, building for whom? Who will benefit? And this is the very question.
So there's not low-income housing?
Not to our knowledge. And there are plans for luxury spas, and other theme parks. The question we should ask the government is, do people want theme parks? There are no theme parks on the major part of Lantau, and people love it. Why building theme parks where again you will have to pay for entertainment, where today more and more people go everywhere for free? Those are the questions. So now we know that the government wants to, has the need to boost gross domestic product. The question is how to best do that while preserving our natural capital.